What's good? What's up? Welcome in. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now. Coming up on today's show, some interesting trade rumors surrounding the Birds. Could Philadelphia upgrade their linebacking room with either Patrick Queen or Isaiah Simmons? Both players could be available because both of their respective organizations declining their fifth-year options. Before we dive into that, do me a favor. Share this video. We had so many people subscribe to the show throughout NFL Draft Weekend. Analytically, the best couple of days stretch that this channel has ever seen. And I just want everybody out there who's not familiar with the channel yet to know about the channel. So click the share button, select the Twitter icon, post this video to Twitter, and if you tag me on Twitter, at Chase_Senior, I'll give you a retweet. We've done this a couple of times. Always great to see who's out there posting our content on the Twitter sphere. And to some Sixers fans out there, I understand that some of you might not like the NBA. You might like a different team other than the Philadelphia 76ers. But if you're an Eagles and a Sixers fan, come hang out with myself and producer Coop. Game 2 watch party tonight on 76ers Now. You see the link down below or just search 76ers Now by Chat Sports. It's youtube.com/76ers TV. Joel Embiid expected to make his return coming off that knee injury. He was officially named NBA MVP. James Harden dropped 45 points in Game 1. It's going to be a blast. I hope to all see you there. With Patrick Queen here, he's disgruntled, according to reports. This is a really solid linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens who played every single snap last year for Baltimore and has yet to miss a game in 3 seasons in his NFL career. He wants a long-term contract extension to get some financial security. Baltimore not giving it to him. They declined his fifth-year option, and for Philadelphia, they still have depth needs at that linebacker spot. I'm excited about Nakobe Dean. I think that Nicholas Morrow is a really good value play, but they're not as good as Patrick Queen. Ian Rappaport talking about this news the other day that the Ravens declined that fifth-year option, and now there is some buzz that maybe the Eagles could make a play on one of the top young linebackers in the National Football League. The same can be said for Isaiah Simmons. Freakier athlete is Simmons. We'll talk about him, though, in more detail coming up here at the end of the show. But you look at the Eagles' linebacking depth chart here. You have your starters in Nakobe Dean, Nicholas Morrow, Hassan Reddick as of right now. It's kind of a cheat code to have Hassan Reddick as a linebacker because he's your Sam guy. He's going to be that edge rusher. Sean Bradley could be a solid backup option, but other than that, the jury is certainly out as far as the depth pieces go for this Eagles defense. And for Howie Roseman and company, they hope that Nakobe Dean can become a really good player because you got him at good value in the NFL draft back in 2022. You're hoping that he's going to end up being a cost-effective, solid player. Him, another Georgia Bulldog, as part of this defense that has multiple of them. And I loved his game at Georgia outside of him being just a tad bit small. For Patrick Queen, been in the league for 3 years, former first-round pick out of LSU back in 2020. Him and Devin White, quite the linebacking core with LSU in Death Valley. And this guy's been a tackling machine. More than 100 tackles in 2 of his first 3 years. Solid sacker of the quarterback, but he's more of a do-it-all type of linebacker. 3.25. Those are the sack numbers in his first 3 years. Some solid quarterback hit numbers. He was used a little bit differently in 2021 as compared to 2020 and 2022. Donwink Martindale, his defensive coordinator in 2020 and 2021, no longer the case there in 2022. So the quarterback hits, career high there, career high in sacks, and a career high in tackles. So Patrick Queen, this is why he's looking for a contract extension, because he's coming off the best year of his career. And what's of note here, he hasn't missed a game in his career. He played every defensive snap last year for the Baltimore Ravens. So good player, durable player, and only 23 years old. 28th overall pick in 2020. It would be a one-year play most likely because we know that Howie Roseman doesn't really invest a lot of money into the linebacking position in free agency. His numbers, according to Pro Football Focus this past year, overall grade is 70. That's solid. Pass rush grade, 75.5. Coverage grade, 68.2. Not terrible by any means. It's about league average. Missed tackles, 18. A little bit high for a linebacker, and passer rating allowed 92.2. So when he is targeted, it's not like he's stellar against the aerial attack. This would be an all-in one-year move for Howie Roseman. And we've seen him do this before, whether it's signing a player on a one-year contract or it's making a trade for a player like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, knowing that you're taking a risk and maybe only having that player for one season. But you're trying to chase a Super Bowl once again. You need better play at that linebacking spot. You lost T.J. Edwards and Kaiser White. Patrick Queen, pretty interested in that, especially you have a lot of draft picks in 2024 as well you could use at your disposal. So, Bird Gang, let's hear from you down in the comment section. Level of interest in Patrick Queen, what is it? 1 to 100, scale it. 1, don't want him. 100, very interested. And I'll tell you this, if the Eagles make a trade for him, if they make another signing in NFL free agency, we're going to cover it here on the show. Nobody does Eagles talk better than us. The numbers certainly back that up as we're approaching 50,000 subscribers as well. And you look at our sub battle this week with the New York Giants, who they think that they're going to be better than the Eagles this year. That's the word on the streets in New York City, a city that I would never want to live in. 105 new subscribers on Eagles Now this week, 103 on the Giants. Let's continue to distance ourselves and dominate them like the Eagles did in all three matchups in 2022. Isaiah Simmons, another interesting player here for Philly. And once again, because Howie Roseman is always so aggressive and because they have needs at that linebacking spot, Eagles being talked about as a potential destination for him. Same case here with Simmons that it was for Patrick Queen. Cardinals not exercising his fifth-year option. He fits the linebacker need. Much more athletic player than Patrick Queen. And Simmons entering a big year here. Now, for Patrick Queen, it's a little bit different. They're actually both first-round picks, so they could have had those fifth-year options, and they didn't get those picked up. And Isaiah Simmons entering a contract year. You see the note here with the stiff Jonathan Gannon. F that guy, man. He's such a fraud. And imagine being the Arizona Cardinals and tampering to hire Jonathan Gannon. Wouldn't be me. Would not be me. For Simmons, 2020, like Patrick Queen, first-round pick, 8th overall, 6'4", 238 pounds, and a very good athlete. And I may have butchered what I was trying to say just moments ago. If I did, F me, right? Type it in the comments section. They did have their fifth-year options picked up. For first-round picks, you can get those fifth-year options picked up. You imagine the Eagles are going to do that with Devontae Smith after this upcoming year. What that does, it has the player under team control heading into year 4, under team control for the next 2 years. So that's why Simmons entering a contract year, Patrick Queen entering a contract year. I knew I'd get it right at some point. First round pick, 8th overall in 2020 out of Clemson, 6'4", 238, a very, very good athlete. And his numbers, maybe not as productive as Patrick Queen, but couple of good seasons here for Isaiah Simmons for sure. Year 1, I think the Cardinals were expecting a little bit more. They took a chance on a guy who was freaky athletic but maybe a little bit positionless, to use an NBA term. 54 tackles, 2 pass breakups, 2 sacks in year 1. His sophomore campaign, though, 105 tackles, 7 pass breakups, making some beats on the football, 1.5 sacks. And then in 2022, for a bad Cardinals team, nearly had 100 total tackles again, 7 pass breakups for the second consecutive year, but a career high in sacks with 4. His Pro Football Focus numbers, I told you, not as productive of a player as Patrick Queen. Probably not as instinctual as Patrick Queen. I'd probably go with Queen over Isaiah Simmons just because I believe you can't rely solely on athleticism. I want a guy who just has a knack for being a good football player, and I think that Queen is a better football player. Pro Football Focus numbers for Simmons here in 2022, 67.9, 83.5 on the pass rush. I think you could use him a lot more there, a la Hassan Reddick, but the thing is, you already have Nolan Smith and Hassan Reddick. Coverage grade, nearly 70. Missed tackles, not as many as Queen with 12. Passer rating allowed, 98.6, right in that realm of Patrick Queen. So, pick a backer here. Which backer would you go with? I'd go with Patrick Queen. I know he's not as much of a crazy athlete as Simmons. I think he's the better player, though. PQ for Patrick Queen. IS for Isaiah Simmons. And join us for our Sixers watch party tonight against the Boston Celtics, a team that I hate more than any other team in sports. Yes, even the Dallas Cowboys, because I'm a diehard Philly fan. And subscribe to the show here. It's Philadelphia Eagles Now. We'll catch you next time.